Hello everyone, welcome to Peach on Earth Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for Virgo for the month of December. You can have Virgo anywhere in your chart. You can be a cross watcher. All that I ask is that if you're here watching this reading, that you come with good intentions for yourself and for others. Now, sorry I had to hold on to the camera there because my cat was like rubbing up against it. She's going to sit up here for a minute with us. She'll go eventually, but she might come over and boop the camera again. So, Virgo, first off, I want to start by saying, I'm feeling very reluctant. I'm not sure if I really even want to do a reading, but I don't know if it's my energy, if it's your energy. It just is a very reluctant feeling. They were just saying something about these shapes here that are on my blanket, because normally I try to, smooth it out before. So this one, it kind of looks like a shark, but with a stingray tail. So maybe a stingray. And then this one up here looks almost like a blueprint of some sort, like a cellular blueprint. Now that's really interesting because when I said that, my mind went to this conversation I had with my daughter last night where we were talking about dreams and how sometimes I'll have these dreams where they don't feel like dreams, they feel like memories and flashbacks, and I don't know how to explain it, and I won't remember the dreams, but what will happen is I'll get these split second visions, and what it is each split second is a layer of a blueprint, and they're transparent. So then when you lay them all together, you see the big picture. So after 4 or 5 of these flashes, I get a picture. Does that make sense? So it's something about that. It's you're getting these snippets, I think, in your life that sorry. That might not make sense right now, but will make sense eventually. And so another message that was coming in for you guys, I'm going to start shuffling. Excuse me, honey. So another message that was coming in for you guys was last night I watched this TikTok that I had saved to an old phone that I don't use anymore. And I watched it and it just really resonated. And then for some reason, I'm recording this in the evening. So when I was the following evening after watching that TikTok, oh, your card fell, I gotta grab it. But right before I started considering your reading, or right as I started considering your reading, this TikTok came back into my mind. And what it was is I wish I could credit the person. I don't know whose it was, but they said, don't kill the part of yourself that you cringe at. Kill the part of yourself that cringes. And I find that really interesting because I don't have Virgo placements in my, none of my planets are Virgo. So I don't, I guess, fully grasp the internal manifestation of Virgo energy, mental. But to me, Virgos don't seem like they, how do I want to put this? I don't know what I'm trying to say. So that could be something that you struggle with. The internal critic, right? That's what I'm getting. What was the other message? Oh, and then also when I was getting into your energy and shuffling the cards and whatnot, the song "Too Much to Ask," I think is what it's called, by Niall Horan. But is it too much to ask to not criticize yourself? You know what I mean? Is that really too much to ask? I feel that's kind of what Spirit's saying with you, because I didn't really resonate with the rest of the song. It was just that line came in right after I finished writing the kill the part of you that cringes. Okay. There's a lot of things that have been popping up in my reality that are all of a sudden coming like into play for you. So I watched a reading on YouTube. Hang on, let me go grab your other card and then I'll kind of tell the story. Okay, so I'm gonna hurry up and tell the story so I can get into the card that you got. So anyway, I was watching a reading on YouTube and they brought up Dark Moon Lilith, and I actually had a reading that I did a long time ago. It was probably like a year ago about Dark Moon Lilith. I didn't even know what sign it was for or anything, so I went and I watched it, and it's literally called Black Moon Lilith. It's a Libra reading. I don't remember what month it was, but in that reading came up this bee, but the reading itself was about it's like not apologizing for who we are, because that's what Lilith represents. Like, it's the things that we think society sees bad about ourselves, but we need to actually learn how to embrace. So it's really interesting that is kind of coming full circle here, because so if you know anything about the story of Lilith, she is like the mother of all the demons of hell or something like that. I don't know exactly. I just have gathered bits and pieces from pop culture about Lilith. So, and also like it's lore that Lilith was Adam's first wife. Sorry if that gets really loud, but Lilith was Adam's first wife, but she didn't follow the rules or whatever, so she was cast out, and then Eve was created from Adam's river or whatever. But Lilith was first, right? But she didn't fit the mold. And instead of conforming to what they wanted, like, she stood up for herself. So it's really interesting that that's coming up. And then I brought up the whole, like, Lilith is mother to all the demons or whatever, because this card here is, our little babies are also thinking beings. So it's like, when we criticize ourselves, even if we think it's just internally, it's not. It manifests in our external world. The things that we think about ourselves manifest in our external world, and our children are watching and they're learning, and that's who they're going to become if you don't start accepting yourself. And it's really interesting too, all of a sudden I'm seeing here around his head, it looks like it should be like this mountain here or whatever it is behind him, the big hill, but instead it's like I'm seeing this as almost like a halo around his head. And so it's like, to me, it's like healing our thoughts, because the white is the purification, the healing. So it's like healing our thoughts in order to heal our children. Because do you see here too how there's like this little tiny white ball, and it's like it's coming down from what he has here around him, he's healing his thoughts, and it's going and manifesting into his child. Like, that halo is now going to be around his child's head, and then the child will learn to grow with positive thoughts about themselves instead of critical thoughts about themselves. Okay, this is pretty interesting here. Let's see. These will not get out of the way. Sometimes you just can't find the right spots, especially when this cat's right here. Okay, we are going to start with the Wild Unknown Tarot. Okay, what is the message for Virgo for December? Virgo December. It's interesting too, because I didn't really start talking about those cards for a long time, like into your reading, and in that Black Moon Lilith reading, I didn't pull any cards until like 8 minutes, and when I looked at the thing, I just started talking about like this card, but it was like at 8 some minutes or something. So I don't know, you might get something from that video if you want to go find it. It's in the Libra playlist. Okay, what is the message for Virgo, I almost said Libra. You could have Libra in your chart, or you could be dealing with Libra, you know, whatever, like the whole spiel. Your cards keep wanting to fly onto the floor. Oh my gosh. The Four of Swords is literally healing. Did you just drink my water? She just drank my water. And she took like one little sip and then left. Thanks. So anyway, this Four of Swords, and do you see how the white is coming up from his head? Like, his body's still in the dark, right? So it's like maybe you are like, I need to get my body in order or something like that. But right now, what they're really saying is like, you need to get your mind right in order for the rest to follow. That's the first step. And you know, like, they could be encouraging you to like, and when I say they, I just mean like, whatever, however I'm getting this message, spirit, the cards, whatever. But it's like, it's almost like they want you to maybe start therapy or something, like some kind of mental program, whether you do it yourself or whether it's guided by another person, that's up to you. But they're really, really wanting you to get your mind right. And it's like the rest will follow. What's on the bottom? The Hangman. Yeah, the Hangman. It's almost like I am getting this message that it's like you do maybe want to go on a physical transformation, but it's not time for that right now. It's time for, because if you see here, the light and the dark is like reversed here. That's so interesting. Hang on. You know, and what I'm hearing here too with the Hangman is like normally our feet are on the ground and that's like rooting ourselves. So right now it's like almost like the best way to root yourself, because I am seeing this red in his eyes as well, or its eyes, being here at the bottom, that the red represents our root chakra. And it's like the mind is the root right now. The mind is what's going to ground you right now. But yeah, so I'm getting the message, sorry, I totally got sidetracked there, that you might want to be going on a physical transformation right now, but they're asking you, they're just saying that that's not quite as important as what's going on internally, like mentally. It's like when you clear your mind, you can clear, what is that song? Free your mind and the rest will follow. And I don't know about the rest of the song, but that song does come up, like that lyric does come up a lot in my reading. When I say a lot, it's like a handful of times. But yeah, it's like free your mind and the rest will follow. Kill that part of yourself that cringes. It's like, it's almost like whatever part of you that is like saying like cringe at the way you look, because they're wanting you to like, your mind is saying like you need this physical transformation. It's like, well, why do you need a physical transformation? Do you feel unhealthy? Do you feel like you don't meet people's standards? Do you know what I'm saying? Or like your own standards, which have been put upon you by who? You know, why are your standards your standards? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Whew, man, I just feel like I didn't take a breath for like 5 minutes. Okay, anything else for Virgo? It's like it's so interesting that I was reluctant to do this reading, or like I had that reluctancy, because the messages are coming in so fast and so sharp. So we have the Two of Pentacles here. To me, it's almost like, yes, you know this needs to happen. You know this needs, your mind needs cleared, but it's like you feel like you're doing some kind of juggling act. Or like, how far will you really get? With the moon here, it's almost like, it seems like your critical mind, you don't see how there's a way to fix it. You don't see a path to being healed mentally. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like there's no path So is it really possible? So should I really do it? And so it's like, because the Two of Pentacles is like a juggling act where it's, do I do this or do I do that? Do I do them in tandem? Do I keep them balanced? And what's interesting is that there's a butterfly on this Two of Pentacles, and it almost tells me like, no matter what you choose, there is going to be peace. Because, you know, when we do increase our physical health, it does help us mentally. So it's almost like you really can't choose wrong. But no, you're gonna knock my water over. But hang on, I gotta get my water. So it's interesting. I grabbed the water and I was like, well, since she drank out of it, I'm just gonna go ahead and water my plants. And it's interesting. So it's almost like, I got the message of like following your instincts, your mind in a, oh gosh, how do I want to say this? Like that was my first instinct. I picked up the water. I was like, she drank out of it. I'm going to water my plants. It was the first instinct. So it's almost like something like that where you're needing to, so maybe your instinct is to get physically healthy. If you're not already. I'm not saying you're unhealthy, but you know what I mean? Like you could be thinking a lot about it. So I guess they're saying it, you can't really go wrong. They just want to make sure that you're doing it the right way, because sometimes when we go into our physical journey, we can replace some other unhealthy habits with obsession with health. And so they want to make sure that you're not, like, you're doing it for health reasons, not for any other reason other than I want to feel at my peak. And because when we feel at our peak, it also helps us mentally, right? But when you're like, say you're obsessed with like counting calories or macros or how much time you spend in the gym, or there's other ways to, you know, do things physically as well, but that's just like the example that's coming to my mind. But it's like, are you doing it like when you get obsessive like that, it doesn't help you mentally because it's all you can think about and you like obsess about it. And so it's like you need to find a balance if you are going to start that journey before you start your mind journey, to make sure you have the balance there. Okay. Do I need any other cards? I don't think I need any other cards. I don't even think I need that Two of Pentacles, but we're gonna go ahead and get you guys some advice. Luna, chill. My cat won't leave me alone. She has food, she has water, she has everything she needs, just not her mother. I love my cat so much. Okay, we're gonna use the Prism Oracle for your advice. What's the advice for Virgo? Advice for Virgo. Advice for Virgo. What's the advice for Virgo? Okay. This is kind of interesting. On the bottom we have pain. And then we had isolation come out first, which is a hermit energy right there. And then illumination. So, you know what this is telling me? Like, you could be being called to start a meditation practice. Because what it's saying here, you know, because that's kind of like the hermit energy, which is Virgo's card in the tarot. It's like something starts with this tiny idea. Like, say, just for an example, this reading is the tiny idea. It's like a little spark starts. And when you meditate on it, you almost instantly become illuminated of the problem. But it's interesting because it's like you become illuminated of the pain that you're actually in, when I think that you've been just kind of like trying to, it's like, it's such a Virgo energy where it's like you're just trying to live life, right? Like, don't rock the boat, just kind of like go as smoothly and as fast as you can, but also safely and smoothly. It's like, and I'm getting the word coasting, but it's not the right word because you're not coasting, I don't think. But it is kind of that energy where you're just moving through life very almost cautiously. And I'm getting it's like, because that's the easiest way to avoid any pain is to just kind of like focus on living life, like living and not like dealing mentally, right? Not dealing with our emotions. But it's almost like there's like a little spark that's going to happen that's just going to like instantly illuminate all this like critical self-talk and why you have it and where it came from. Right? So I think your advice is to meditate. Meditate on some sparks, some just like something that's like triggered you a little bit, and say, why is this triggering me? Now, that's really interesting that this is coming up because I think it's really helpful. It's like a psychology thing, and it's interesting psychology is coming up because you could be being called to be in therapy, like to start therapy. And I mean, therapy can help anyone. You don't have to be like a broken person to benefit from therapy. But, oh shoot, what was I going to say? Crap, it got taken from me. Oh, the psychology, the why game. So what it is like you'll have a trigger and you're like, why does this trigger me? And you have to be as honest as you possibly can be of why that thing triggered you. Even if you're like to blame, right? Even if the answer is something that you've done. Okay? And then you say, well, why? You just keep asking yourself why until you get to the bottom, until you get to the root of the issue that you're having. So, Virgo, I almost said Aquarius just now, which is odd, but Aquarius is the opposite of you on the zodiac wheel. But anyway, no, it's not. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not. Pisces is. But anyway, Virgo, this has been your reading. I hope it was helpful. If it was, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. I thank any of you for being present today. I thank any of your guides that were present, any of my guides that were present from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.